There you go.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another wrestling review. This week we are reviewing this past Saturday's Money in the Bank. So a weird Saturday going for the WWE, I guess for the 4th of July weekend. With me once again, I have Campo right above over here, and I have Putty right above over here. Hello, gentlemen. Their information will be down in the description below. You know where they are and you know how to follow them, so go on and do that. So let's get into this. Let's start with the first match of the night, gentlemen. The women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It was Liv Morgan versus Alexa Bliss versus Asuka versus Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans versus Raquel Rodriguez versus Shotzi Blackheart. And my Amazon Echo went off because I just said the A word.
I actually was going for Alexa Bliss on this, and I'll be honest with you, Liv, I actually didn't know much about her, to be honest with you. I'm not really focused on her, but I am becoming a fan. I'll just say that. So
you don't know much about Alexa Bliss either.
I know more about her than I do freaking her.
Name something.
Let me name something.
Okay.
A credit card commercial, which we'll get into later.
Yeah, or the song by what's the name? Bowling for Soup.
Bowling for Soup. That's right. Bowling for Soup did a song called
Alexa Bliss.
I can't say the A word right now.
I'll say it for you, Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. Whoever has an echo. Thoughts on this match?
Okay, so I want to get into this first. So WWE has this problem where they have a lot of good female wrestlers, and I'm not going to just put this on WWE, but specifically WWE has this problem more than anyone else. They have so many good wrestlers that all deserve a push in the female division, but they refuse to give any of them the push. In this match, you have Alexa Bliss, you have Liv Morgan, and you have
Raquel Rodriguez too.
Forget about Raquel Rodriguez. You have Asuka, who all deserve, for the time they've put in and the hours they've been there and how much they've improved. Asuka's already the best. But the other two have improved so much compared to anyone else that they really deserve a title shot. And the problem with matches like this is there's so much hype for me as a wrestling fan to see one of these people get a chance, but only one of them is going to get this chance. And the rest of them are going to fade away into oblivion forever. I'm tired of Asuka getting shots at having a shot and never getting a shot. So it's like, when is it enough? Because like Raquel Rodriguez, sure, she was good, but like she's going to be here forever.
She's still a little green and she's young still. So she's going to be around for a while.
She clearly has some kind of background in like mixed martial arts or something. Yeah. She's absolutely massive. And I don't care about Shotzi, but I mean,
I like Shotzi.
It's whatever. But Becky Lynch is a good wrestler as well. But I'm tired of the Becky Lynches and the Charlotte Flairs and the Ronda Rouseys. It's time for change.
And we will see change later on in the show.
This match showed a little bit of it, but like I said, that little bit of hope doesn't fix the fact that all the rest of these people are going to get dumped in the garbage after this.
My one thing about this match, it's like, here's a spot, pause. Here's a spot, pause. Here's a spot. It's very
spots.
Yeah. It's like there was no other, like,
there was only setups for spots and then the spots. And I'm gonna just say this: the goddamn ladder in the corner thing was making me so upset, because there's no way in hell you're gonna tell me that ladder held that woman in the corner for like 15 minutes. There's one point where she's like, oh, she couldn't get out when it was on her back. Like, I'm sorry for the people having to get that close up, but like it was making me so mad. I'm like, you're expecting me to believe this? The men are in there throwing those ladders around with one hand, and you're telling me this ladder held this woman's entire body against the ropes.
There was a sense of that for both now and later, where it was just like first the ladder's way like, oh my god, it's the strongest thing ever. Then all of a sudden, oh, it's the lightest thing ever. It's like, where's the common,
we've all held a ladder. But I can lift a ladder over my head, so don't pretend that a ladder held somebody.
But the thing is, too, you could see, like, I mean, nothing against, because that ladder hurts. No matter what, if you get hit with a ladder, it's going to hurt. But you could see that the ladders aren't heavy objects by the way they're bouncing.
Yes, you could hear the way they land. They're made of tin, like metal. They're not like solid steel ladders. But it's like that was my thing. And some of the spots were kind of cool in this match, but there was. Okay, number one, and like I know
that sunset flip over the top of the ladder into a power bomb that Liv did. That was fantastic.
That was like probably the best one. Alexa Bliss had a decent one. There was the one where I think it was Lacey Evans or Raquel did the flip and landed on the ladder and missed and landed completely on the ladder and clearly hurt themselves.
Yeah. That's why you didn't see much. It was Lacey because you didn't see much of her for the rest of the night.
And then the one with
Shotzi got her mouth busted open.
Yeah, Becky Lynch completely missed Asuka and landed right at the edge of the ladder on her bare ass, which probably hurt so bad.
Yeah, and it probably hurt Asuka even more too.
And then what was the other one? You had Shotzi had like 4 huge botches.
Yeah.
And that one where she almost dropped Alexa Bliss face first into the ladder.
Yeah,
but she got a lot of flack for it online, and like I'm not here to beat you up. I'm sorry, but you did have that. I'm not going to pretend like it didn't happen.
There was the botch. Like they tried to make Raquel Rodriguez seem like this monster to lift the ladder with both Lacey Evans and and
then her ladder held her down in the corner.
Yeah. Right. It was counterproductive. It was counteractive. It was not
like I just want to point this out. I know I've said this like 9 times now, but there was a solid 30 seconds to a minute where Becky Lynch, I think it was Becky Lynch or Asuka, was deciding what they were going to do. Well, Raquel pretended she was struggling trying to get out from underneath the ladder in the corner when you could see the ladder was being held by the 2 ropes. Like it was perfectly placed on the ropes. And it's like, you just lifted up 2 women with your arms, but you can't lift up
I even mentioned the fact that Shotzi has botched some botched runs over there.
Yeah, I mean,
it felt disorganized, discombobulated a little bit.
It did. It felt rushed, and especially in comparison to the men's match, which when we'll get there. But that was very long and drawn out. And in the favor of that match compared to this match, I don't want to lose this comparison while we talk about other things. But in the men's match, if you take away Seth freaking Rollins, that was a whole team full of scrubs that are the kind of people you want to win a Money in the Bank. You don't want your 5 best women you have in a Money in the Bank match because this is supposed to be a thing that you give to someone who deserves a shot, not people that. So like when all those men lose and that one person wins, you don't care what happens to them right now.
No, because they all have their spots still.
These women are all about to be just put into dumb relationship storylines. Well, someone gets a title
with
shot.
The winner. You get Liv Morgan winning the Money in the Bank. It's somebody different.
Very happy.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. Someone they need to strap the rocket to is Liv Morgan. She's had all these opportunities and she's always come up just short.
And we've said that for a while.
Yeah. And I'm so happy because she's improved so much over the last year. She's honed her skills so well, and I couldn't see anybody else in this match other than Asuka, but Asuka, her spot is always going to be secured. Liv Morgan really deserved to win this Money in the Bank.
I really want to see a really long title run though from Asuka at some point. Like I need it.
It'll happen.
And Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss as a tag team was looking promising to me, but mind you, I'm very happy with it. This outcome saved this match for me.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call this. Well,
the whole Bliss angle is you don't know which matches she's going to be in. She's here for this, not here for that. Like she's sporadic too, right? So
but this match, just stay with the match. It was fine. I wouldn't say it was terrible. I know we harped on it a lot, but it was not. It's because it wasn't a match that deserved to be at a pay-per-view.
No,
for a ladders match,
it did the job
with all this talent. This is like a main event on Raw. Again, I know we say this a lot, but
it didn't. All right.
Just out of curiosity, could you guys hear that outside too? I don't know if you guys can not know. Okay.
No. We got that little vignette about Cody. It's keeps him in the picture, I guess. They're trying to keep him relevant while he's gone.
We're gonna be full up straight up honesty here, and we didn't watch any vignettes.
Oh, okay.
No.
Then you get a weird match, Theory versus Lashley.
Can I go with this one?
Sure.
I don't mean this in the sense that he's a bad wrestler, because it is what it is. And he's also not a good heel. I don't hate him because he's a good heel. I just hate Austin Theory. I cannot
there's something about him I don't like.
He's way too young for this push he's getting. Mm-hmm. He is a good wrestler, but he's not great. And he has a rocket strapped to him like he's the next Shawn Michaels or Bret.
I was saying John Cena.
I don't put John Cena in that category, but
that's what they're saying.
That's what Vince sees in Theory. He sees the next
but
John Cena.
The difference was he didn't see talent in John Cena. He saw big muscles, and he was like, "You're gonna go," and he ended up being a pretty good wrestler. Austin Theory is a decent wrestler now,
but he's young. He's still young.
He's too young to have all this. And later there's going to be a thing we'll get to, but I was actually, for the first time ever, and I'm going to be super honest with you, I never felt this way. I was fully behind Bobby Lashley. I've never felt so happy about the way Bobby Lashley absolutely pounded someone, and I kind of turned into a Bobby Lashley fan.
Yeah, because with every move that Theory had, Bobby Lashley had a power counter for it.
And it made him look really good.
Dominant. And and Lashley is your new champ. He beats Theory clean. He puts him in the hurt lock and beats him clean.
And it felt really good. And for some reason, because I don't really want Bobby Lashley in the World Championship picture.
But at least now there's a big name with a title on Raw. And let's hope they make this belt mean something and they do big things with Bobby. And
this is not a belt I will be upset about seeing him hold for 800 days because I don't care about this belt.
And just dominate everybody until we get that almost rematch at WrestleMania for the US.
I have a question though. With Theory, before he became like Vince's protege, did he have any experience like on NXT or anything? Was he literally?
He was in NXT. He was Johnny Gargano's lackey for a little bit.
Okay,
and he's been on the independent circuit in Evolve for a few years. That's where basically he came from.
So the question is then, I don't like this persona. I don't like this personality. Was he like this the whole time, and was it likable? Because my thing is,
he was actually a baby face for a while.
Okay, all right.
Because the character was the same.
Yeah, same idea.
I don't see it. I don't.
A few years ago, there was a character called Tyler Breeze, and that's essentially the same gimmick with the selfie and the pictures and the
wasn't there the other guy before Tyler Breeze? Zach.
I mean, I get that they're trying to appeal to younger audience.
Wasn't there an internet guy that his whole thing was like being
social media?
What was his name? Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder, yeah. Now he's Matt Cardona, yeah. Zack Ryder, that's right. He was the internet champion for a while. Basically,
I forgot what his name. He's doing really well right now as Matt Cardona, but
Well, see, I know about what's his name? The guy that wrestled with the Miz at WrestleMania. What's his name?
Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
Yeah, Logan. I understand pushing him for that social media thing. I feel like this was pushed on us because they want to have that more social media push as far as like, oh, I'm a
internet celebrity.
He's not an internet celebrity though, where Jake Paul actually is.
That's the reason why I can
internet celebrity,
who signed a multi-year contract with the WWE.
Yeah, and see, I can get on Jake. I can get with Jake Paul being that influencer.
Is it Jake or Logan that's signed? It's Logan.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's Logan.
But anyway, I can get on Logan Paul's side on that situation because he started from there. I can't. They need to stop with this with him. I feel it doesn't work.
You know what's funny? Logan Paul, after that WrestleMania match, he's not that bad. Like you can tell he's put the effort into training.
I agree with Putty, and to go on Putty on your note, they're not even pushing him as a social media person. It's a fake persona. He doesn't actually do social media at all. He's not like the AEW guys where they're all like really doing vlogs and stuff behind the scenes.
Video games, things like that. Yeah.
That's another really good aspect that we never talk about in the continuity between all the outside of the WWE world is that they own their own identities. They own their characters. They're the same characters across the board. And then their real life characters emulate what they are in the ring in their like online
personas.
They
basically have to stay in character. They have to method act.
But their character, the rest of the world's character works all fluidly.
Yeah.
Where WWE, you have to be this character all the time. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Literally 24/7.
Kenny Omega being normal human guy is Kenny Omega. That's literally him. So
there's more aspects of their true personality in their gimmicks
because they create their characters. WWE's creating characters for them, right?
Because they want to own the rights to them.
But I mean, back to matches. We're going way off topic. It was a decent match.
And it was finally Bobby Lashley against somebody different.
And it was finally him getting to show actual skill level.
Yeah, and like you said, I hope because Roman Reigns is now part-time and there's no titles anymore, really, I hope that they make this the main attraction of Raw.
Yeah, and it rightfully should be.
Yeah. because they
Like,
need a big name with some sort of championship that all the heels want to go after, kind of thing.
But that's what I don't get. WWE is slacking in so many parts, and this whole thing about both of the championships being owned by Roman Reigns, and then he doesn't have to do anything.
Both of the tag team championships are also owned by them.
But
yeah, it doesn't
because
make
the Usos
sense.
have
Like,
both.
It's basically like they're saying, listen, we're just going to put them on the pedestal. They just exist only when we want them to exist. And right now, it's like you're not wrestling no more. You're literally like, I feel like I'm watching something on HBO Max. Like I'm watching the Peacemaker, but the really shitty version.
It's like the cable version of the Peacemaker.
Yeah.
But I mean, but for what it was, I didn't mind it. I actually quite enjoyed this match. It wasn't too overly long either. No. Bobby Lashley just dominated and countered everything Theory have, and Bobby Lashley's your new champ.
I hope he goes on a Goldberg level crushing run from here.
Yeah, just like destroying squash matches. Yeah,
that's what they really need to do to revive his character.
Yeah, do a couple squash matches on Raw, and then face like a semi-decent person at a pay-per-view.
If you want to run the Omos situation so you can bring them back together, don't let them wrestle for a long time. Let Omos trample on other people, let him trample on other people, and then bring it back like next WrestleMania.
A collision course.
Because they should have left Omos on a collision course with every other like jobber just demolishing people so that he looked epic too. Mm-hmm. But what you did is you let Bobby Lashley beat him like 3 times in a row. And now he looks like he's not tough.
He looks silly, yeah.
But what they did with him in the coming up ladder match made him look like a buck.
Amazing, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
I do want to bring up one other point. I was watching online something when they're talking about it, and they're talking about how a lot of wrestlers are replicated again by other wrestlers to look like them. And Omos was kind of like what they were trying to do is the next Andre the Giant, just like Big Show was, and so on and so forth. Here's my thing about that. When you're making 2 big guys go against each other, you don't have that big moment anymore when you do it so early on. And it's like, Vince knows this. So why is he screwing up so badly when it comes to leading up to things when he's just
I'll be honest, they just love their 50-50 booking. That's all it is.
It's so weird. It's so weird how they used to be.
Oh, you lose this match, you have to win the next. Oh, you win this match, you're going to lose the next. You know what I mean? That's Vince's way of booking.
Which there's something in this match that happens, which later it was like, I'll explain it when we get there.
The Lashley match or the Theory match?
The Lashley match, but we'll wait till we get there.
We get there. Okay, then you have the third match of the night, which this woman had no right to be in this match. The only reason why she was there is because Ripley is hurt. It's Carmella versus Bianca Bellar.
Yeah, so
I forgot this
Putty missed most of this match.
Yeah, I did.
But it's fine. He didn't.
I had to watch this match on mute because I cannot stand Corey Graves' commentary on this match.
Okay, so not only was his so if you didn't listen to it, not only was the commentary bad, which I'll even get to more as we progress, but Carmella has this way that she like attacks people verbally in the ring. And it doesn't come off as aggressive or scary. It's like, I just want to make sure the cameras hear me so the fans hear what I'm saying. Like an actress who's really who's supposed to just be a background person, but keeps screaming in a movie so people notice her. That's how it feels.
It's an extra trying to steal a scene.
Yeah, it's she's trying to steal a scene. And it was listen to me. I'm sure you could beat me up. I'm sure you're a much better wrestler than me, but Carmella is a jobber. So I mean, like, and I mean that like in the deepest sense of the word. I literally want to just go through this. Okay. It's almost like spitting in Bianca's face to make her wrestle against Carmella at a pay-per-view for the title
and not squash her.
She's like less than a mid-carder. She's a literal jobber, and not a jobber for champions. She should be a jobber for new up-and-coming wrestlers that you're trying to show off. That's how bad she is. It's not even worth my time to watch this on a Monday. On Monday night, I would go to the bathroom during this match.
Yeah,
and you made me pay for
the fact that Vince loves Corey Graves, and Corey Graves is married to Carmella.
She's an enhancement talent for young wrestlers. That's what she should.
This is someone Liv Morgan should be beating to enhance her, or Rhea Ripley, or like.
This is not someone who wrestles in a ring with the champion or with Becky Lynch or Ronda Rousey. This is someone who
felt like she did not.
She's a glorified valet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which she was when she first started, when she was Enzo and
like,
Cass's.
I don't mean this to berate the person, but
No.
you made me watch this on a pay-per-view. Like, Bianca is so good. Every move she did was fantastic, but it's like everything in between that was like how are you telling me that she beat up Bianca Bellar at all? This person.
Yeah, no, she is not on the same level as Bianca. Bianca's so talented. She's so fantastic. Her athleticism is amazing. Carmella's basically eye candy for people to watch, which she really isn't even that.
No, she's the kind of candy that I would not buy at the store. She's the actually, I like Werther's. I take that back. But
she's like those minty like globs of chocolate that
it's like Junior Mints.
Yeah, Junior Mints.
People like Junior Mints, though. I'm trying to think of something people really don't like. Yeah. Putty had the greatest comment ever. He's like, "Is that the girl that had the mask on before?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What was the mask protecting?"
her most, according to Corey Graves, her most beautiful face.
Yeah, it's really gross. I'm glad you didn't have to hear that, Putty, because you would have probably threw up.
Yeah, it's almost. I think this is like as bad as like Sammy Tay Conti.
It's worse.
It's
because you're not actually seeing any kissing. You're just hearing him talk about her.
Yeah,
this is gonna sound horrible, but Vega has more reason from Street Fighter to cover his face than she did to cover her face.
But whatever. Bianca goes over. Short match, 7 minutes. Nothing more needs to be said. Bianca needs more. Bianca needed that win against Rhea Ripley to solidify her title reign. She needs to beat somebody tough and somebody big.
Yeah, and it needs to happen fast.
Yeah.
This is like, these are the, like, Natalya was good. We'll get there when we get there. Yeah. But these are the people Ronda Rousey needs to be fighting with.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Next, we had a Logan Paul meets The Miz at SummerSlam. That's going to happen. They're going to fight. They're going to have a match at SummerSlam. Then we had literally, you need to go back and watch this because this is one of the worst ad plugs there ever was. It's Alexa Bliss's doll, Lily, sitting in a room, and Alexa comes in and goes, "Where did you buy all this stuff?" And it's literally an ad for the WWE Visa card.
Why? Listen to me. If you minus out, so number one, Putty even caught on to this. The amount of promos and commercials they had was the most I've ever seen. And now
they could have saved 45 minutes.
Yeah, you could tell it was to stall time because if you remove all of those, this pay-per-view is like an hour and 40 minutes.
It would have been, just over 2 hours. I timed it.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
If you were really paying for this, if this was $19.99 and you dished out $50 for this, you would be so mad.
JD, Campo can vouch for this. When we got to the end of this pay-per-view, what is the first thing I said, Campo? That's it? I thought there was more.
He's like, "Where's the next match?" I'm like, "It's over."
Yeah, like,
and if they took away some of these promos, they wouldn't have had this 4-minute overrun. They had a 4-minute overrun.
I didn't even notice it.
Because I PVR'd it and I watched some of it live on Saturday night and I watched some of it on Sunday. And like, I'm getting to the part and my DVR cuts out right when Sami Zayn is climbing at the ladder 4 minutes towards the end.
So you missed that whole last little bit?
No, I watched it again after. I have the network, right? So I can go back and watch it whenever. But yeah. Next match, a match that I thought I was going to have no interest in because I've seen 49 different iterations of the Usos versus the Street Profits over the last few weeks that I thought I was going to have no interest in this. And to me, it turned out to be one of the best matches of the night.
Probably the best match of the night.
I would go on a limb and say this was match of the night. Yeah.
Putty, you definitely watched this with me, at least most of it, because we talked about it a bit.
We were talking a lot, and I think
whatever. It's okay.
These are your probably two best tag teams that you have right now.
I'm going to
true tag teams that work as a team
with some information now that we have. So they want to split them up. They want
Montez to go
solo. And that seems to be the plan WWE wants to do, which is going to upset a lot of people because right now we all know Vince McMahon hates tag team wrestling.
Yep.
And
that's why he gave everything to the Usos because he loves those guys.
They're so hot. wrestling the Street Profits are so hot right now that he's probably thinking I'm better off breaking them up and seeing how far I could push two different people in a solo run than let them take the titles away from the Usos.
But see, that's what's going to happen, like he did with the Dudleys when he split the Dudleys up.
This match was great.
It was like I said, this for me was match of the night. Like this was my match of the night. Like these are two true tag teams. Like they work so well as a team, both of them. This is the
closest tag match of all the pay-per-views we've watched so far from WWE to replicating what you get in AEW in a tag match,
where they actually care about the tag division. There
people actually jumped over the ropes.
I did see that. Yeah, there was some crazy stuff
there was legit
spots.
There was legit teamwork.
There was people who looked hurt. They were selling for each other. The Usos were selling. This is something I want to say this. I don't care what kind of rep they get, and I really hate Roman Reigns. The Usos are genuinely super talented, and they really care about wrestling.
They are one of the greatest tag teams, I would say.
They are here, and they are selling, and they are doing well, and they're trying to help out their opponents, where Roman Reigns is just constantly putting himself over every time.
Yeah.
And I know that's some of the character too, but I don't see the things like this when I watch Roman Reigns. Like, and the Street Profits, you know me, I hate them just because that's the stupidest name I've ever heard for a tag team.
But they are so talented together.
They're so friggin' good.
They're so talented together that separate, I don't know if they can.
Angelo
Dawkins will get buried for sure.
They're like, what are they called? House Party?
Private Party.
They're like Private Party, but way better.
Way better, yeah.
And Private Party's pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
which I haven't seen them in months.
Yeah, I think one of them's injured.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, this was anybody else got anything to say about this match other than the fact that like this feud is probably going to continue?
I hope it does.
Yeah, this feud will continue.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, it probably will. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Street Profits take them.
I think they're going to let them take it. I think so. But you need to split the belts up. Don't give them both sets of belts. Split the belts up.
Yeah, at the end of the match saying, oh, you thought it was for the unified? No, it's only for the Raw championship. We still have the SmackDown championship.
Yeah, because like when you think about this, you've proven, okay, they won undisputed. Roman Reigns won undisputed. If you want to keep them as champions for the rest of their lives, fine. But split it up and let someone else win something.
Yeah, I think they don't have enough tag teams. They don't.
It's crazy that AEW is out here trying to find titles for people to win, and WWE is giving all of their titles to the same people.
Yeah. I bet people don't even realize that Gunther, is it Gunther now? Walter? He's the Intercontinental Champion. He wasn't.
I know. I didn't even know that until you told me in the last episode.
Yeah.
Dang.
When he beat Ricochet. But fantastic match.
Wasted wrestler Ricochet. Absolutely wasted.
Yes. Wasted talent. Besides the point, though. Next, there was a random Kevin Owens, like a 15-minute Kevin Owens promo. Why? I don't know. Kevin Owens, I think, was hurt and he wasn't on the show. Because I think it was going to be a Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel match on this show.
I didn't see this, but I did hear that it was insanely long.
Yeah. It's way too long. Way too long. Then there was like a weird vignette. People are speculating that it's Bray Wyatt returning, but it's clearly Edge.
It is because it shows all the people he had feuds with, except
the Dudley glasses. They showed Cross for Christian. They showed
the Hardy Boys.
I didn't see this either. Oh, this one I was gone too.
I watched it afterwards, but no, we skipped it. But
okay.
I watched it after, and people are saying though he never had a feud with Eddie Guerrero. Why does it show Eddie Guerrero stuff?
I don't know.
It's like maybe it's somebody else, but everyone's like it's clearly Edge.
Yeah, they had the Kurt Angle one with the Kurt Angle medal too. Angle. Yeah, but then we get into Ronda Rousey versus Natalya for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
So at this point, I got to point this out, and I know I talked to you guys about this, and at this time, I really want to be rude. I'm being rude to all of you, and if you don't like it, you can find me. The announce team for WWE is
at Campo.Reviews
dog shit.
I agree.
They all suck. There's not one of them that's good. Michael Cole has just the fact that he associates with those people. You're on my bad list. Pat McAfee, or what's his name? McAfee.
Yeah, Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee, he had an accent always, but now he's evolved this accent into like this fake mafia guy voice, and I cannot stand it. Oh, bro, you're gonna come over here, bro, and I'm like, where's this coming from?
Yeah,
like, what is this? You're becoming this character, and I
think Vince is telling him be more New York, right? But the thing is, is Vince even in their ear anymore?
I don't know, but that guy, Pat McAfee, the other idiot, Carmella's boyfriend, Corey Graves, and not Michael Cole, the other guy are terrible.
Which one, Byron Sachs or terrible. Jimmy Smith?
I don't know. Anyone that's not Michael Cole, they all suck. It's very upsetting because the thing that you have to understand is, and I'm not saying this just to be a dick, I have to listen to this every time I watch a pay-per-view for the whole thing, and you're giving me zero valuable information. You're just
whereas someone like Excalibur, take Excalibur in AEW. This man knows literally everything. He'll throw out those little nuggets for you, like,
and the way that they circulate information there, like, okay, I'm not even just going to point them out. Even in a smaller situation like Impact, they're constantly telling you about what's happening and the situations and all of these like behind the scenes stuff that's meaningful to the match. In New Japan, they're always telling you this move, this is what this is, this is what this is. In WWE, they're just like, he's so muscular. Look how muscular he is. And it's like,
look at that. That's watching.
And then the other
vintage
thing too is
Usos. That's classic Usos.
And then the other thing is like when you look at AEW or any of the other ones, what they do is if they want to like emphasize something like this guy's amazing. Oh, he's the like a JR. It's a slobber knocker. Little things that might be fun and exciting, but then you hear it over WWE. They're like, oh my God, he's the size of like 2 towers stacked on top of a ladder. And I'm like, what the hell did they just say? Like, it doesn't.
That's literally what they said about Omos.
Yeah, it's like,
do you remember the thing that they said in the one before? What was it? He's like, he's literally as strong as Superman. I'm like, yes, it's because he's as strong as Superman, who would flick this guy and kill him. I'm like, he's just as strong as him.
It doesn't make sense what they say. Like, it doesn't even give any kind of like
power to it. Even little things like, for example, when Jim Ross or Excalibur would say, even just a little bit to put this guy over. You know, Wardlow's been in MJF's shadow for the last 2 years. He's finally broken free. Let's see what he like. Just
let's not forget about the blunders of
Taz
of Hell in a Cell. What was it called? Blood and Guts. They said Ruby Riott. They said what was the other guy? They said Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
They said Daniel Bryan. They said Dean
who wasn't
Ambrose,
even in the match.
And there was one other one. They said all 4 people's old WWE names. Cesaro. They're like Cesaro. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just one of them. It was like JR twice. It was Taz once, and it was whoever the other person was.
Didn't I say that before though? Didn't I say I was waiting
Excalibur
for JR to mess up?
It was just funny because the way it happened, Putty, was like a chain reaction. They said one, and then the next one.
I don't know how I didn't notice it either because I watched the match and everything, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
It was a good match though.
Oh yeah, I agree. I've gotten to the point now when I watch, because especially with WWE, that I kind of drown out their voices and try to listen to see what the
I really have noticed that.
Like that's the thing, right? Why do you think I watched that Carmella match on mute? Like sometimes it's better to watch it with. You'll have more interest in the match without sound and without commentary on WWE than with the commentary. AEW enhances what's in the ring, whereas WWE deters.
In AEW, they don't really talk. In New Japan, they talk in the strangest way, but it's not like off-putting. In WWE, it's like, you bitch, you bitch, you bitch. Like I was like, in the Ronda Rousey match, Ronda Rousey called her a dumb bitch like 37 times.
Yeah.
And it was like that. But I like it to a point, but it's like after a while, it got to be
loses its luster.
Well, I get it, but I would rather
Rousey calls Natalya a bitch once, you're like, oh shit, she means business. But when she says it 17, 18, 20 times, it loses its luster.
But it's still bad when they sound more entertaining than the actual announcers that are supposed to be talking.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so back to this.
It's like when Jade Cargill says, I am that bitch. You believe it.
Yeah, and it's like there's just more to it. Okay, so like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I don't like WWE and I like all these other things. I just have this renewed love for wrestling, and that's why I'm doing this. And I only care about the wrestling. That's all I care.
You don't care about the stories or what got them there.
The characters and the announcers annoy me so much is because you're not enhancing the matches, you're ruining the matches.
You're taking it away.
By the way, this was a really good match.
It was. Yeah. And you have two of the most talented women in WWE history there.
It was way more technical than I thought it could possibly be.
Like that first 5 minutes of chain wrestling, back and forth.
It was like Zack Sabre Jr.
Mm-hmm.
For real, it was like all of the flip holds. Like she turned a sharpshooter into an ankle lock, back into a sharpshooter, back into an arm bar. I was like, what is happening?
Like this had more technicality than the Claudio Castagnoli Zack Sabre Jr. match. Yeah. And that was supposed to be who is the best technical wrestler.
Because Zack Sabre was technical the whole time and Claudio was just whipping people around the ring with the wing. Surprisingly good.
Yeah, I never followed Natalya, but this match made me a fan of hers, and I will be paying way more attention to her now.
She's actually like one of the best female wrestlers they've ever had, and they dog her so hard. But it's just because she's
I think she's the only female graduate from the Heart Dungeon, isn't she?
Yeah, I believe so. And she's the one that, if you know the true backstory, she has trained most of these rookie wrestlers. She's the one who trained Ronda Rousey when Ronda Rousey came in.
They're like really good friends. Yeah.
Yeah. And they built up this whole fake heat on Twitter where they were like dissing each other. And it was like, this is good character work, good heat, good wrestling match. This is what I like. And WWE letting them do it is what makes it good. When they're too controlling, they get in the way. We just had two really good matches in a row, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you got me back.
Yeah. And the way Rousey was selling, she sold that leg really well.
And it's not like her to do that.
No. But because of that respect,
Natalya.
Yeah, I was going to say that respect that she has for Natalya, it shows because these are two women that respect each other, that both respect the sport that they're in, and they respect the kayfabe. I don't want to say respect the kayfabe, but they respect the storytelling, I guess is a good way to put it.
That's fair.
And that's what made this match so good. This was a match you could watch without commentary and just enjoy the technical aspect
absolutely.
of
it. It was.
That's kind of what happened with me, actually, and I really enjoyed this match. I see things.
Well, let's get to where it goes. So you tell us what happened here, JD.
Okay. Well,
I'll do it. Yeah. Do you want to go ahead? What?
Yeah, I would love to if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, but tell us what happened in this match first.
Well, see, here's the thing. At the end, we do end up seeing that Ronda Rousey wins. And the situation was she was still injured. Well, if you remember, first and foremost, I'll say this is my top match. I didn't really get into Usos one. I love this match.
Fair enough.
Then at the end, she's won. Everything's going great. And all of a sudden, running out from the back is Liz with the Money in the Bank. She's cashing it in right then and there. And she takes advantage. Now, first, what happens is Ronda Rousey ends up taking her into an ankle lock. I literally pulling her to the middle so she wouldn't get out of it. But she finally gets out of it.
She had the wherewithal to kick the damaged knee, to kick the damaged leg.
Exactly. And she took advantage of the one and won and ended up becoming the champion. Like it was, you can ask Campo. I actually was freaking out because he wasn't responding to me when she came out.
Yeah, because I was freaking out.
Yeah, and I didn't realize he didn't read it. I was like,
and have you ever seen a cash in for Money in the Bank?
No, I've seen cash-ins before. Yeah, I'm just saying this was.
Putty watched wrestling in that era, like at the beginning of Money in the Bank when it first started.
But see, what I'm saying is the reason this is exciting is because for WWE, I've been more excited about AEW. This match, the match itself, and then this leading up to the cash-in, this was one of those moments I said, this is what I need. That they don't do which AEW does, that excitement that brings out the inner kid. And I loved every bit of it. And she won. She was excited. And what made me respect this more and even love Ronda Rousey more, instead of making a feud, they literally made it like, you know what? You earned this right. And they shook hands, hugged, and let it go.
There's allegedly going to be a match at SummerSlam, which for me, I'm going to be honest with you, I can't see Liv Morgan realistically winning a match against Ronda Rousey one-on-one.
I agree.
So it feels like an awkward thing to do, but it would put her so over if she wins. So
I think Ronda will she will.
Ronda supposedly this whole thing was her idea. She said, I never wanted to be the champion, or she told her hairdresser, and her hairdresser leaked this, that she never wanted to be champion. She didn't ask for it. And she wanted to give it to someone deserving. And she's like, I want to drop the title to Liv.
Even though, but you could see that Vince is no longer in the booking picture because Vince wanted Rousey to be the female Brock Lesnar, basically.
But she still can be.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
need gold to be the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Just beat everybody.
She can win the title back at some point. You don't need to hold the title for 17 years. Listen, I was there as soon as she came in the ring and that ankle lock got put on. I was like this. I was covering my eyes. I'm like, oh no, this is going to be a wasted Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
She's
we
never
thought
going to win a title.
Yeah,
I'm done. And when she won, I was literally screaming. I was like, don't ask me why I'm so excited for this, but
it's something new. It's something different that we haven't
seen. This was like before. A heartwarming moment that we haven't seen in a long time. And this is like epic level of win.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that they were going to fight again, because I agree with you on the whole thing about making her like the Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, however you want to look at the big dog for the female side, but instead lead up to it. Like make Ronda Rousey work again for that championship by just drowning, demolishing.
Yeah. You know what? If there's a rematch, at SummerSlam, have Rousey wear a brace on her knees, and she's still not 100%.
Yes, give them a cheap way out, which is I'm okay with that. When if you're gonna protect someone. Which, by the way, in the Usos match, that kind of double protection they did, I don't like that. But it works for the
shoulder up.
Yeah, because it protects both sides. One team won, but one team didn't really lose, and I don't like that. But going here, and it was like this was a feeling that the last time I remember feeling this kind of like joy was for the 17th time hearing he's got him up for the one-wing angel, and then he finally beat Okada, and you're like, holy crap, this really friggin' happened.
It was almost on that level, yeah,
because it was when she had her in the ankle lock, it was just like him constantly picking him up to put him in the one-winged angel and never getting to do the move, and you're like, oh my god, he's not gonna win. And then when she won, I was like, there's no way. Like, I don't know. I'm so excited.
Good. Yeah, it was such a feel good moment. It was a fantastic match. It was capped off by a fantastic cash in. And you're right. This was probably the best feel good moment I've seen in WWE in a long time. We finally have somebody fresh, somebody new as champion in that division. And they have an opportunity here now to go in a direction which they haven't gone in a long time. And let's hope they don't like, oh, she's the champ now, so she's going to lose every match.
Listen,
botch it. Yeah.
You gave Bobby Lashley, that's goal number one. I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
You gave Liv Morgan, number two. I'm happy. There's potential that the Street Profits are going to strip some kind of title off the Usos. I'm happy 3 times. Yep. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I'm not happy anymore.
No, I'm done with that feud.
That's the main event at SummerSlam.
Yes, it is. Brock Lesnar again.
Is it really?
Yeah, Brock versus Reigns again.
I used to be excited about that stuff, but I'm now so tired of it.
It was supposed to be Cody, but because he's injured,
that doesn't matter. I don't care.
There was no time to build a story. And John Cena, Putty got all excited because of all his theories about people coming back.
Yeah,
John Cena was supposed to come back, start a whole thing off with Theory, but it's not happening anymore.
Oh, there is that thing with Theory still happening.
Well, there's no John Cena match. They canceled the match.
They canceled that one?
Yeah, that's what they were saying today on What Culture.
Okay. Well, I thought it was going to be for something different. Next, we have the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. It was McIntyre, Madcap Moss, Almost a Wrestler, Riddle, Sami Zayn, Seth freaking Rollins, Sheamus, and a last-minute addition, which I don't understand why. Theory.
Oh, I do. And I'll explain this right now. This is what I wanted to say before. And I'm not going to spoil this match yet. We're going to talk about it still. Mm-hmm. So Putty was really excited because Madcap was here. That was his whole jam. I was really hoping Sami Zayn doing all his little sneaky shit, he was going to win.
Yeah.
But right when they said the words Austin Theory, I'm like, this is why they dropped the title to Lashley, because they're going to let him win this match. Yep. And he's going to win the championship. Yeah. He only dropped the U.S. title because he's going to win a championship.
I honestly think it's going to happen at SummerSlam.
And what was the outcome of this event?
Theory wins.
And I could not. I thought I was just being a
spoiler. Like, we're not even going to dissect the match. We'll tell you right off the bat. But Theory win. Theory won.
In my head, I'm just being an idiot. There's no way Vince McMahon is this dumb that I predicted it from the Bobby Lashley match. Yep. I predicted this.
That he was coming in.
Literally happened. I'm like the secret guy. There's going to be a secret edition. It's going to be.
This
awesome.
is exactly like a few years ago when Brock Lesnar won the Money in the Bank, a match he was never supposed to be in.
Yeah,
they didn't even announce him for the match. He just shows up, climbs the ladder, and he wins.
And he came in and threw all the ladders down and injured 3 cameramen on the side.
Yes, Like at least Theory was part of the match. Brock Lesnar was never even part of the match. He just threw everybody out and climbed the ladder, and I win.
Just to go back to the match, I just want to say this. There were times that I just was in disbelief. It didn't feel real, like with the whole ladder situation. This was another one where it was the opposite. It was like throwing all these ladders on Omos, and a lot of those little situations with the ladders just felt so artificial.
Yeah,
especially seeing what happened with the ladies match and everything. That I'll be honest with you, this almost turned out to be, in my eyes, the worst match of the night. Like, it's sad to see.
I'll disagree with that.
Yeah, I can disagree with that too.
I don't think it was the best match.
It was not.
It was more of a letdown match, because at the end, when I thought
it was a letdown because we just came off this high with Liv Morgan winning the championship.
I think that's what it was.
And Theory winning, it took the air.
Entrance deflated the whole room. Even you could see the fans were like, "Oh no!"
They turned on it. You could hear them booing. The WWE had to pump crowd cheers into the arena just to make it sound like people wanted them there.
It got to the point. Okay, so I disagree with what Putty said. I think, especially in comparison to the women's match, this was a really fun. It was fun. It was super fun. I mean, was it good? It's questionable. It was fun. The throwing almost through the table. The way how strong he was.
To be fair, this is the best I've seen Omos ever.
Yes, I agree with that.
He looks so powerful, and they really put him over for his strength, and I like that.
It took 6 guys to powerbomb him through a table.
Match did. It made McIntyre and Sheamus look very tough. It made Madcap look like a very inept wrestler. He botched every single thing he did. When he was standing on the ladder and looking around,
he didn't know what to do.
He kept having to pretend that he was trying to reposition himself, even though by the 7th time you've gone up the ladder, you should know how far up you need to be now. And he still kept being one step away every time. He never did any other type of sell except for, I need to go up one more step, where other people came down and moved the ladder.
At least he was there. Theory did not do a single move in this match.
Fair.
He did not do a single. The only time you saw Theory is when people were down and he'd try to run up the ladder and people would knock him off, and then he'd disappear for another 5 minutes.
Who else are we missing from this match?
Riddle.
I don't know.
Riddle did a couple really nice spots, but
that RKO off the top of the ladder,
that was good.
The RKO on Rollins off the top of the ladder was really, really good.
Rollins was here. Rollins did nothing. Rollins was a waste in this match.
Well, you could tell Rollins is not at 100%.
And you could tell that he doesn't want this. He belongs in the title picture, not in the Money in the Bank picture.
Yeah. But see, I'm going to say this right now. This is the reason why I was putting it so low. The Omos situation was probably all the time the best part in my eyes. Was every time he was involved with something, except for one thing. When they did the table thing, awesome. When he was powerhousing everyone below, awesome. When everyone's throwing ladders on him, it was funny, but at the same time, for me, it was unbelievable. Like, I couldn't feel it. You know what I mean?
But see,
that was the only time.
What they needed to do with the ladders was just him explode out of there like the Hulk, just exactly. And just kind of
like probably did, and we never saw it.
We never saw it because the camera wasn't there.
Yeah,
it's like next thing you see Omos is in the ring again. It's like,
well, see, you have to remember, the reason I put this so low is you're putting this as the main event. I literally thought something else was coming because it didn't feel like a main event thing, even though there were some good moments.
Yeah.
Again, I'm comparing stuff that I see at AEW, and when you literally have a show called Blood and Guts that is better than your main event at your pay-per-view, you know what I mean? Like, I literally just
just the image of everybody standing on top of the cage at the end of the match, just like celebrating, like you sent the crowd home. Your main event should send the crowd home happy, not angry. And this is what happened.
And I don't think that's what happened here. But I'm gonna say this: the difference between any other organization and WWE is, where we would have watched this match somewhere else and it would have been huge spots, it would have been bloody, there would have been broken ladders everywhere. WWE can't do that. So their way to work around these things is to make it funny and fun, which is what they did in both matches. They tried to do that. In the women's, they tried to show off a little more skill than in the men's, but the spots were just not
which is exactly what they did in the Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn match at Mania. It was supposed to be this hardcore match, but it turned out it turned into a comedy match.
You don't have to explain it again, but that's why it's like that.
Yeah.
Instead, in place of the hardcoreness, it's funny jokes. And comedy wrestling can work when it's like Danhausen and it's done really funny.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or it's like Naito doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, but
it's
even
like,
even when someone like going back to when
Doink.
Santino used to be in the WWE, that worked because that was his
Doink.
character. Sorry,
he said Doink. That's a pretty good
Well,
one.
Yeah.
Doink, I mean, again, these are characters I love to have fun with. I recognize when they're being funny. This was a main event that didn't feel like it needed to be funny. It felt like it had to be.
It would
But
be
it
putting-
had to be to replace the violence.
yeah, it would be
Exactly.
like putting some like R-Truth right now in this match.
That would have worked. See, that's the thing. That's understandable. When you're bringing the characters that
Actually, yeah,
aren't
that
funny,
would have.
It would have
You
worked.
see what I'm saying now? If you bring in someone like R-Truth in there, then I get the understand the humor. These are all serious wrestlers that you made jokes out of. Understand if we were talking about Dan Hollison again, then I would be like, it understand Orange
Yeah.
Cassidy. I understand it. Those are things that makes sense.
Even
You
if
put
someone
people-
like Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods were in this match,
Exactly. Do you
which
see
they
what I'm
weren't,
saying?
surprisingly.
And that's why it dropped for me because
Where
I
are
came
they?
into this match thinking, oh, this is going to be badass. And then it was all like, weird, funny. And I'm like,
Yeah,
and then all
but
of a
like I
sudden, Theory
said too,
won.
your expectations were now, like I said, because Liv Morgan won the championship, your expectations are up here.
Yep.
So nothing right now you're going to see is going to live up to that expectation. Like really, out of anybody in this match, Putty, who would have given you that same excitement if they won, compared to something like Liv Morgan winning the championship? Like
None of these people.
Maybe
Madcap
Riddle.
for him. If Madcap won for
Madcap
him,
or Omos. And I know Omos sounds weird, but Omos at least stole the show a lot in that situation. Madcap messed up, so I won't give Madcap that. I'll agree it's a favorite, but it didn't. Omos, yes. Even maybe even someone like
you know who Sami Zayn would have been my guy. If
Yeah.
I wanted Drew McIntyre to win because I think he belongs once again.
But
in
Drew
the title
McIntyre already
picture,
has a title shot coming up in September.
which is like, why is he in the match? I just a lot of things.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever been the champion and had the Money in the Bank briefcase?
No. The
No,
Money in
I
the
don't
Bank
think you can.
briefcase is for a shot at the championship.
But what if
Yeah,
you won the
exactly.
championship without cashing in the briefcase? Like Drew McIntyre already has a match for
Yeah.
the title. So what if he won the briefcase? He's gonna have the shot.
Well, they
and
wouldn't
the
have booked
briefcase?
it. They wouldn't have booked it like that.
See, it's just
yeah,
to
but
me,
that doesn't make sense though.
So,
if they
but
already
that right
booked it.
away, the fact that I know he's facing Roman Reigns at the castle thing in Wales or whatever it is, the fact that he's facing Roman there, one already tells you Roman's not losing to Brock at SummerSlam,
Right.
and two, Drew's not winning Money in the Bank because he already has that title match.
that's so stupid.
And again, something you don't see in AEW that WWE never did before until lately.
See,
Like, at
what I
least in
would
the last
wait
year
if
or so.
Drew won, if something like Drew won, and then he faces Brock, or not Brock, he faces Roman at that pay-per-view in Wales. He loses that match, but he sees Roman is hurt, cash it in, and there, second match of the night, maybe I can beat him.
I honestly think they're planning a cash in at SummerSlam.
You think it's going to be? You think he'll lose the cash in?
I think Roman Reigns is going to beat Brock Lesnar, but he's going to be really beat up, and then Austin's Theory is going to come in and win the match.
Really?
Maybe
maybe it's only for one belt, not both.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
It would be for whatever show he's on.
I'll take that. Like he comes in, he beats Roman Reigns because it doesn't end Roman Reigns' Universal Championship streak, but it ends his WWE Heavyweight Championship streak, and Theory goes on to win the WWE Championship as opposed to the Universal Championship. This way they split the belts up again. I'll take that.
I hate that the names are that. I'm sorry. Like, just call it the Raw Championship and the SmackDown Championship.
Yeah.
I never got it either.
You know,
Universal-
but you know why it's the Universal
Universal sounds like the whole, when you combine the titles, when you unify them, then it's called the Universal title.
It's them not poking fun, but them, you know, kind of that jab, like, oh, you know, it's the WWE, they call it the WWE universe, right? So you're the Universal Champion, but you know, the universe is also bigger than the world. So, you know, the Universal Champion's better than the World Champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really dumb.
It is completely, but whatever. I could see that where Theory cashes in, but only wins one of the belts from Roman.
Yeah. Either way, it may not have been the worst match of the night, but it definitely was like low on the totem pole for me. I'll be honest.
We already know what the worst match of the night was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it was because Bianca's so talented.
Yes, and it's to me, it's absolutely, I said this, spitting in her face to make her have this match.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, like I said, I really got excited when I saw nobody in the ring and Sami Zayn running up the ladder, and I'm like, oh shit, here it is. He's gonna win this match.
I thought so too. I really thought that when he was being all sneaky and he finally got in there.
Yeah, there's that. I don't know if you caught this, but right at the beginning of the match, he's kind of hiding behind the post. He's like,
he did for a long time.
Yeah, and he's just standing there. I'm just looking at that like, that's hilarious. That works. Like, if you want to add comedy in the match, something like that works, because he's that sneaky little chicken shit heel, right? And the fact that he's going around with the Bloodline T-shirt, I'm an honorary Oos. Like,
while he was out there doing that, there was all those really good spots on the outside, right in front of the table, which it's like, and like, Omos looked really good.
He did, and this is the best I've seen. But Omos in a situation like this, where he gets to showcase his strength and not his lack of wrestling ability, works for him. In a match against a powerhouse like Bobby Lashley, who is a pretty good technical wrestler and a powerhouse wrestler, doesn't work.
Nope.
So, and it just goes to show it. But like I said, Theory wins the match. He wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. He does not do a single move in the match, and he ends up winning. He took a couple bumps, but that's about it. And like you said, Campo, I think Theory is probably going to win one of the belts at SummerSlam.
All right, so you want my verdict?
Let's get the verdicts and your match of the night.
All right, well, I'll give you. I always do the best and the worst, so we're coming out. So the worst was definitely Carmella versus just Carmella. Just Carmella.
Nothing against Bianca, because Bianca's amazing. Yeah. She's fantastic.
The best match was the Usos match. Usos versus the Street Profits. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. It was fine. It's a 7.
Okay.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10, which is still not a bad score.
It was the fact that it was so short was in its own benefit, that we thought we were going to run out of time watching it before we had a chance to film that Stranger Things review, and then it ended up finishing a good 25 minutes before we even had to do it. So I was like, okay. Putty, I guess
it was literally, I'm tiling it up, Campo. It was literally an hour and 40 minutes total match time.
I told you it was less than 2 hours.
Yeah, I just did the quick math. I'm looking at all the times. It was like
an hour of promo.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess worst match, since I really didn't watch it, would be the Carmelo Bianca one. I mean, that was the only one that I really didn't watch much of or get to see anything. So
you didn't miss much. Bianca's a powerhouse, and she's awesome.
And then I'm nothing against the Usos match. I didn't pay attention. I had some stuff going on anyway, but again, I can't help it. The Natalya Ronda Rousey was my favorite of the night.
Fair enough. That was still an amazing match. Like, I won't discredit you for that.
Second best match.
Yeah. And then as far as I don't know, I'll say 6.5 for this pay-per-view, like 6.5, 6. I really
is this the lowest rating you've given?
Yeah,
it might have been. See, here's my thing. I only like 2 matches out of it, but with the ladder matches, both of them, I think AEW has really, really made me look at WWE in a different light lately. And really, dude, if you're bringing ladders out, I want to see some action. I don't want it to be this goopiness. I've gotten too used to seeing stuff like from the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys, that when you bring in ladders, you got to put some effort into it. And I just, outside of that one, the RKO off the thing, there really wasn't that too many of those in there. And then the women's one, the whole ladder in the corner, that just got stale so quickly. Like, there was just so much. So it's really bad when the one-on-one matches, or the matches between, like you guys said, the tag teams, were outshined the ladder matches. So that's why it gets like a 6.5 for me. So
fair enough. I'm gonna agree with most things. I felt so bad for Bianca to be put in a match against Carmella that ended up being as good as Bianca is. And this is taking nothing away from Bianca, because Bianca is fantastic. I love her. I want to see more of her. But like you said, putting her in the match against Carmella did not work. If this were Rhea Ripley in this match would have probably been one of the best.
Okay, so wait, give your verdict, and then I want to ask you a question.
Sure. I'm going to go kind of in between you guys. It wasn't quite a 7, not quite a 6.5. I might go 6.75 on this one, 6.8. It was fun for what it was. they're trying to make Money in the Bank like the they're trying to put it on the same level as like a Royal Rumble or a SummerSlam, but it's not there. And this showed that it's not there yet. And I would probably give it a 6.75, 6.8 kind of thing out of 10.
I think they need to bring King of the Ring back.
Yeah, but make it as a pay-per-view.
Yeah, make it so like a couple of matches lead up to like the final event, and then it's all because like, do they still do Survivor Series like Survivor
Not
Series?
the traditional. No, I haven't seen it in a while, especially now that the brand split is really non-existent anymore. Like before, when there was a brand split, SmackDown versus Raw, like the women, the best Raw superstars against the best SmackDown, the best Raw women's wrestlers against the best SmackDown women's wrestlers. It meant something. Now Survivor Series really doesn't. Because
what's the big four? WrestleMania,
Royal Rumble,
SummerSlam,
and Survivor Series.
But like Survivor Series, King of the Ring used to be the number 5, and then all of a sudden it just became not important anymore.
They did a King of the Ring over the course of Raw back in, I think, November or something like that.
Yeah, and who won?
Xavier Woods beat Finn Balor.
Xavier Woods, that's right. I was going to say it was
like
Big E,
Xavier Woods beating Finn Balor. That alone is not believable.
And I want to say this.
I think was it her name? Zelina. Zelina won the Queen of the Ring. Yeah.
Okay, go, Putty. What do you have here?
Well, another thing I want to bring up too, and Campo, I don't know if you realize this as well, and maybe it was different for you, so you can bring in your point of view. This, for a lot of people who don't know, a lot of the pay-per-views now, me and Campo watch them together, and basically just watch them, over Discord. And the thing is the one thing I've noticed when I watch this one too, when a match was not entertaining, me and Campo will usually just make jokes, make each other laugh, have an enjoyable time.
You tune out.
Yeah, we find a way to make it entertaining. Well, whatever. Yeah, you may not admit it, but I think we do that. And
I'll be honest with you. When I'm watching a pay-per-view, I feel like I need to never look away from the screen. Like I genuinely have this feeling of like I paid for this, even when we're watching it with you, and I shouldn't look away.
Yeah. Right. No, I get that. But I'm saying though, wouldn't you say even during the boring parts, we generally tend to have a little bit more fun?
WWE has a lot more openings, I think. Except for maybe that the New Japan Dominion was really stale in the middle.
Yeah.
But I mean, I agree.
But then again, New Japan Dominion was like 6 hours long.
It's true. And the main event was great, the Jay White match.
But that's the reason why I'm saying my score might be different, because this time me and Campo weren't talking to each other. We were actually typing out because I couldn't be on mic. And I felt maybe that's the reason why I made my score, because there were times I was watching, and the thing was I was trying to focus, but I was zoning out because either stuff was happening around me or just and I will say Campo's good at, like, if I'm getting bored, saying something to get my attention to focus on the match, even though I might not be interested in it, just because he might see something I didn't see, or he just might make a joke and then makes me want to look at it, or he's like, hey, look at this, rewind it. You know what I mean? So I think,
but there was nothing here.
No, there wasn't.
I know.
There was nothing bad about it, but there was nothing spectacular about it either.
Yeah, this was like, how AEW has like Blood and Guts, or like not that, for example, but they have like those random event
Fighter Fest,
Dynamite Fighter Fest. That's not really a pay-per-view. It's like a
special
thing. That's what this felt like.
It felt like a special Raw.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they don't even, like I said, they don't even call them pay-per-views. They call them premium live events.
Well, because they're not pay-per-views anymore.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
But still, it's like...
Okay, so wait, I have a question.
Sure.
And then I don't even want to talk about this pay-per-view anymore, honestly.
I think we're done with this one.
Do you think if it was... oh my God, I was going to say Ruby Riott.
Rhea Ripley?
If it was Rhea Ripley, would she have won?
Yes.
I think they would have strapped gold on her.
Yes.
Because Bianca's been the champ for a while.
Since Mania.
Yeah.
But she really hasn't, like, other than the feud with Asuka and Becky Lynch, she really hasn't been able to showcase.
Sometimes, though, I think you just need to shine gold on some people. And you could give Rhea the belt for 1 month until the next pay-per-view. Let her defend it once on an event, and then let her give it back to Bianca. And there you go. And that would have let her
But
defend it once on Raw.
But that will legitimize someone like Rhea Ripley.
It does, because she might go her whole career in WWE without ever having a title.
I honestly thought Liv Morgan was going to be that type of person, go her whole career.
100%. 100%. I was convinced.
I'll say this right now. I actually said to Campo, because we were talking about, and even Campo kind of believed it too, that maybe there for a while that before Theory came out, that Madcap
Moss?
Madcap,
Man?
yeah, about to say Mad Moss. I don't know why I was about to say that. Madcap might win it, and I even said, yeah, but I feel like if he wins it, whoever he goes going to go after, he's going to lose it. Like he's literally going to go after.
It's like it's like 6-7 years ago when Damian Sandow won the Money in the Bank briefcase. It was like everybody was like, he was a great gimmick, but nobody believed him winning the WWE Championship. You know what I mean? So he was one of the first guys to lose the Money in the Bank cash in. Like up until he won it, everybody who's cashed in Money in the Bank has won it. He was the first one to not win cashing in it.
When you think about the general idea of it and like what Liv Morgan did, you can just show up when someone's completely destroyed, and you should win it every time basically that you do cash in.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been any times where people were like, I want a match at the next pay-per-view?
John Cena's done that.
Because I think that's a really stupid idea.
Well, that's why I felt
the
like
whole
Madcap
purpose of that is like unless that's why it works with a heel winning the Money in the Bank as opposed to a face winning, because when a heel just runs and cashes in, it's believable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the Seth Rollins run where he had to run down that whole friggin' ramp.
He's gassed by the time he gets to the ring. But even a few years, was it 2 years ago when Big E, or last year when Big E won the Money in the Bank? Last year. He never cashed it in like that. He's like that. I want a match. I'm telling you when it's going to be, and it's going to be this against Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean? He beat Bobby Lashley for the championship. And
that was huge. That's like a feel-good friggin' moment.
Yeah.
And it's so sad what happened. Like,
yeah, I get well soon, Big E. His career may be over.
So then why would Liv Morgan, because see, the thing is, you're right, it is always a heel. Why was it so different with her?
Because it was important for Liv Morgan to get a title.
Yeah.
Because I love that Ronda Rousey.
Because there was also that mutual respect. You know what, kid? You took advantage. You've earned this. You deserve this. And I like Here you go.
And see, anybody else though never would have worked that way. Anybody else would have been like, "Oh, that's mean." Like she still has the.
But the fact that Ronda Rousey vouched for it by shaking her hand, which makes
it legitimized it. It legitimized that championship win.
It makes it like what I said. The double protection with the tag match, that they got the win, but it wasn't really a win, is kind of what happened here. She got the win, and Ronda Rousey was like, okay, that's cool. We're happy about it. And it lets everyone else be happy about it too.
Well, I mean, that night, I remember watching that Mania match live, and the crowd was absolutely dead for the Brock Roman match until Seth's music hit.
Oh, you're talking about that one.
Yeah. The crowd erupted. Like, I mean, I was watching it here at my house, and I used to have like watch parties before. We used to have like 10, 12, 13 people at my house in my basement, just like
coming soon.
It will be. We will be doing one soon here. But maybe the next AEW, but we'll see. But I wanted to do it for Forbidden Door, but things had things. But
things had things.
But when Seth Rollins, who's supposed to be this asshole heel that you are not supposed to like, is being cheered as a new champion, something's got to be said about that, right?
Because you've only had Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Bobby Lashley as outside of Big E, really as the title picture for the last like 5 years.
Drew.
Yeah, but Drew is like the guy that wins, and
he was the COVID champ.
Lose it.
He was the COVID champ.
You knew that he was just an interim champion to pass it off to somebody else.
Yeah. To pass it on to Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, which that's what a lot of people were worried about that with Liv, that she was going to be just a transitional champion that was just going to dump it.
I think
she's going to keep it.
She's going to have a good long run with it.
They're going to do what you said. Ronda's going to have matches on weekly TV where she's going to get more hurt in the leg, and it's going to be a huge factor when it gets to SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think Liv Morgan, especially since even I wasn't paying attention to her, but now because of her personality, her excitement, like I'm so cheering for her now that everything she does now, I want her to keep it, and I want to just cheer her on every match, even if it's with the wrestler I love, genuinely love. I still want to vouch for her, and that says something about her character, and you know what I mean. So,
well, with that out of the way, guys, don't watch the whole thing. Watch what you want. Definitely watch the tag match. Definitely watch the Rousey versus Natalya match. Watch the cash in. If there's anything else you want to watch. It wasn't a bad pay-per-view. Not one of the best, but it wasn't as good.
Wasn't a good pay-per-view for the women's division outside of that one scenario.
Yeah, I agreed with that. And what's going on with the women's tag champs? It's been dormant since they kicked thing off the...
Well, I don't want to get into a further discussion, but supposedly it was going to be Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan were planned to win it, is what the rumor is by Dave Meltzer's like those like pundits online. But now everyone's like, okay, well, we thought that we were for sure that's what was going to happen, and now you gave Liv the title. But can't she have two titles? Like,
Bailey did it. Well, I mean, when Bailey and Sasha were tag champs, Bailey was the Raw champ and Sasha was the SmackDown champ.
And I'm trying to remember, we've had plenty of male wrestlers that have had both tag team and
John Cena's done it. Triple H has done it.
We got a couple tag team champions right now that have like 17 belts on them. So let's go. So 7 stars, baby.
7 stars.
And if her being a fan favorite and they're willing to cheer her on, giving her more gold would just people.
Yeah, just do it, man.
It'll legitimize her.
And people love Alexa Bliss. Just give her a title. Like, get over it.
Just do it. Yeah. Anyway. All right, with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. We'll on the next review will be SummerSlam, so stay tuned at the end of the month for that one. Putty, Campo, thanks again for joining me. All their stuff will be down in the description box below. And other than that, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you all next time.
You can't defeat me.
Da, 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 da.